School of Fly Fishing Virtual Fly Fishing Academy, your #1 resource for fly fishing education and knowledge.
Hi, I'm Mike Sandifer with Northwest School of Fly Fishing Virtual Fly Fishing Academy. I'm here today in a series of online digital classes that we do on various rivers that we fly fish, and I hope you enjoy this one today. It's on the North Fork of the Payette River. You should be really familiar with the North Fork of the Payette River. We're surrounded by 3 or 4 river drainages. To the west of us, we have the Wahi River drainage. To the east of us, we have the South Fork or the Boise River drainage. South of us, we have the Snake River drainage, and north of us, we have the Payette River drainage. I think, for a certain period of time, for about a 5-week to 6-week period of time, there's not a better fly fishing river anywhere in Idaho than the North Fork of the Payette River. And I've had the pleasure and the privilege to have been able to fly fish this river for over 3 decades now. And what I want to do today is share with you the things I've learned over these years and kind of give you an idea how you should go about really fly fishing this river. So first of all, let's really kind of define this river a little bit. If you've never been to McCall or to Cascade, Idaho, certainly from Boise, then you're going to need this. Essentially, to get to the North Fork Payette River, it's about a 45-minute drive from, say, Boise, straight up Highway 55. And what you're going to do once you hit Horseshoe Bend, and this confuses a lot of people, so let's end this confusion right now. Once you hit Horseshoe Bend, Idaho, you're going to then meet the Payette River. You're going to follow the Payette River another 15 minutes until you hit Banks, Idaho. Banks, Idaho is a little rafting community, and what makes Banks, Idaho really unique is that's where the Payette River is formed. Here, the South Fork of the Payette and the North Fork Payette come together and form the Payette River. Once you drive past Banks, Idaho and heading north to, say, McCall, you're now following the North Fork of the Payette River. And you will follow North Fork Payette all the way up to the headwaters. So there is no Payette River once you leave Banks. And that's the section of river we're going to be talking about today. Not the South Fork, but the North Fork. There is a certain history of the North Fork of the Payette River. Most folks, if not everybody, think of the North Fork Payette River, and rightly so, especially in the canyon section, which is a good 35 minute drive. That's a rafting river, and it's a tailwater river. That river is really created out of the bowels of the dam at Cascade Reservoir in Cascade, Idaho. But it's this rumbling, tumbling river that flows all the way down to Banks. That's the section that I'm talking about today. That is a tailwater river. It's regulated for irrigation into the main Snake River. So consequently, during the spring and summer, there's tremendous flows of river down that canyon that will go like that all summer long. We're talking about 3, 4, and 5,000 cubic feet roaring through that canyon all summer long, and it's a rafters and kayakers delight, and it's a dangerous river for you to get down there and fly fish. Even if you can get down there and fly fish, it's a very deep canyon, so it may not look like there's a lot of water in there, but it's really deep, and this is a tailwater river that we mainly nymph fish and streamer fish, and if you don't get your flies down to the bottom, that's where the trout live, and in high water you have no chance of that. So we have to wait until they turn the water off at Cascade, and that's usually late September, early October. And when the day they drop that river down to anywhere from 500 to 200 cubic feet is the day that you really need to be fly fishing that river. That's when the water really shallows up. So the river doesn't really get wide with lots of water. It just gets deep with water. And when they shut the water off, it really lowers that canyon water down to the point where you can now get your flies down to where the fish are living. Now, there's not a lot of people that fish the North Fork Payette. And those that are in the know it's really a good river to fish. And there's quality trout in there. We're talking trout up to 20 inches, rainbow trout. I think the average trout, say last year for me, was right around 13 inches, maybe 14. So they're good sized trout in there. I think my best day on the river the last 3 years, right around that 30 to 35 trout afternoon. So the key is to fishing that river is it's all about timing. Timing. You can't go down there in the summer. You can't go in the winter because it's dangerous. There's so much snow in there. So you have this really brief moment in time when you can really go to that river. And it's kind of cool because just about when that river is really ripe to fly fish, you're pretty tired of fly fishing everything else locally. And it's a really nice alternative because of its beauty, because of the weather there, it's cooler. But there's lots of amenities there. There's places and really good restaurants to eat in. There's places to picnic. There's stores and things like that you can go into that you really don't have in some of our desert or lowland valley rivers. So understanding first that the North Fork of the Payette River is one of the best fly fishing rivers that you can fly fish here in Idaho. Knowing what time of the year to really go fly fish that river is really important. Without that, you'd just be flailing away out there. So that's what this online course is all about, is giving you that leg forward. So first, now that we've identified the section that we're really talking about today, we have to understand what kind of water are we looking for. For those of you that have fly fished or fished the North Fork of the Payette River before, when they lower the water, the boulders come out. Those boulders are underwater 11 months of the year, and now all these boulders are out, and there's a lot of pocket water out there. We want to try to ignore that pocket water. So as you're driving down the canyon and you're looking at the river, certainly if you've never fished it before, you're going to see a lot of pocket water. And you kind of want to stay away from that pocket water. What you're really looking for are tailouts. So what a tailout is where a river's compressed and then released, and it makes this long tail and riffle, and that's the sections of the river we're really looking for. So what we're really talking about now is not really so much reading every section of the river, but now you have kind of a clue of what you're looking for when you get there. You're really looking for those tailouts. And that's what your pull-out is all about. You're going to take a pull-out, you're going to get out of your vehicle, leave the vehicle running, you're going to walk to the edge of the road, and you're searching for tailouts. When you find a very, very good tailout that you want to fish, then you want to look for a trail down there, because there's trails down to almost every section of water down there. So it's not as rugged as you think. But that's what you're looking for. And if you've never fished the North Fork before, and you're planning on trying it now, that's what you're looking for when you get there. Now remember that the North Fork of the Payette River is a tailwater river. It's born from the bottom of a dam. And that means there's a lot of nutritious water in there. There's a lot of aquatic insects in there. And these fish will feed ferociously on those, certainly this time of the year. There's not a lot of dry fly action that you're going to see on the river during the day. You're going to be primarily nymphing, and you're primarily going to be streamer fishing. But what you will see this time of the year are two basic aquatic insects. You're going to be seeing very, very small midges, and you're going to be seeing blue-winged olives. And these blue-winged olives are really, really small, and you want to adjust your flies accordingly. So it's really kind of a easy river to figure out in terms of aquatic entomology, and that's pretty good first step, understanding that it's only two bugs on the river that you need to worry about during this time of the year, the blue-winged olives and the midges. So it's not complicated in the sense that you go to a river and there's a mishmash of stuff going on at different times of the day. Most of what you're going to be doing there is nymphing these types of representations. I can tell you, from my own perspective, and my own experience in fly fishing this river, if you're going to drive up to this river and you're going to find a section of river to fly fish, and you're going to get there early in the morning, you're wasting your time. And this is the complexity of this river, and this is how important this online video is for you. You want to time your visit to the North Fork of the Payette during the time when they've drawn down the river to when the sun hits the water. You're going to catch the most fish when the sun hits the water. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're not going to catch any fish if the sun doesn't hit the water. I'm just saying that don't burn yourself out and your legs out walking around rivers when you can be there when the sun hits the water. That's the magic time. I've been there so many times when I'm fishing the river and it's late in the afternoon. I'm catching lots of fish, and you can see the sun moving through the canyon, and then all of a sudden I'm catching fish and the sun leaves the river and it just shuts off like that. It's one of those queer freak things in fly fishing that everybody's got an opinion on, but from my perspective, I time my visit. So a good thing that I normally do or like to do is there's a really kind of a cool restaurant at Smith's Ferry. Smith's Ferry is at the top of the canyon there, and I'll drive up there and have breakfast. And I'll just sit there at Smith's Ferry drinking coffee, looking out the window, waiting for the sun to come down. And just about the time that it comes down the canyon, I'll pay my bill and go out and fly fish. So those are the things that you're kind of really looking. You're looking for sections, you're looking for timing, and we got to talk a little bit about flies now. This river's kind of unique in the sense that over the years, I've talked to a variety of people that I've sent there fly fishing. And it seems to me like really there's really no defining fly that really just takes the fish. I've had flies that really worked for me 1 week, and I mean one trip there, and a couple of days later when I go back, I can't buy a fish on that fly. So it's really not so much about the fly as it is putting the fly down where it belongs. Traditionally, flies of color done well there, purples, jiggies do really well there now. Some of these modern flies we're using, jiggies and check flies, they don't outfish the traditional flies like a beadhead pheasant tail or a prince nymph. They don't outfish those. But these new types of flies have a little more weight to them and can get you down there. In Idaho, you're allowed up to 5 flies. I usually fish that river with 2 or 3. There's different ways to nymph fish that river. What's important, it doesn't matter if you're, I like the drop shot on that river. I know guys that do real Euro style or any kind of like French nymphing that works well there. Where you have an anchor fly works really well. And most guys like to use a big bug on the bottom. That works too. The key point for you to remember is your flies have to be on or near the bottom, and they have to be moving with the current. Too much weight, you're going to lose a lot of flies. Not enough weight, and you're going to have your flies above there. From a strategic standpoint or a technique standpoint, really it's about getting your fly down to where the fish live. And you can do that. If you can do that, you're going to catch quite a bit of fish there. Weather does make a difference up there. It can get pretty dangerous on that river when it's raining. There's a lot of granite rocks down there. I know I took a nasty fall, and Todd was with me. We both slipped on the same rock and both got hurt pretty bad on there. And that's another reason why you want to fish in the winter. Those granite rocks are like glue when they're dry. But the minute they get wet, you're all over yourself. So I don't wear waders on that river. I know guys that do wear waders. I don't wear waders. There's no really need for me to wear waders. You're really up close to the river. Instead, I use more or less a hiking shoe with really sticky rubber on it, and I can get it wet. It's nylon. I can get my feet wet, and it'll dry out. So that would be more of a decision that you want to make that's best for you. But I find it better not to wear waders. But by and by, really, when we're talking about the the North Fork of the Payette River, we're really talking about the section from Rainbow Bridge, Smiths Ferry Flats, all the way down to the railroad bridge at Banks. And the river's going to be on your right as you're driving north. If the river's on your left, then you don't want to fish that section. It's just too rough and rugged. The sections I'm talking about normally have trails all the way down up to the river. So on this particular river, key points for you to remember is you want to have the sun out when you're fly fishing. You want to have decent weather when you're fly fishing there. I guess that's pretty much goes for most places. You got to keep your flies on the bottom. But more than anything else, if I have to leave you with some advice, is if you've never fished that river before, then take this season to do so, and take this season also to learn it. You can catch a lot of fish in the North Fork Payette, but you may not do that your first couple times. You know, she's very forgiving of a river. She's a mysterious river, and she'll only give up her secrets and her secret runs to those people that are willing to go out and find them and really search out and take your time. So you can get there early. You can spend your time driving up and down the river, looking at different sections, identifying sections that you want to fly fish, and that would be a good strategy. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of me here at Northwest School of Fly Fishing. You can certainly get onto our website, nwschoolofflyfishing.com. You can view some of the things that we have already on Virtual Fly Fishing Academy, and please follow me on Facebook. I'll see you on the river.
What I'm going to do today is we're going to talk about this river. It's right outside Boise. I'm about an hour from downtown Boise right now. This is right in your back door. There's quality rainbow trout here. It's one of the finest fly fishing rivers in the Northwest for about 6 weeks out of the year. I'm here on a nice stormy, rainy day, and Todd and I are going to do our best to film some sections of the river that's going to help you kind of get a feel for this river. It's right in your back door. There's no reason why you shouldn't be fly fishing this river. I was here probably 3 days ago with Don, and together Don and I probably caught 60 trout. 85% of them were in the 13 to 16 inch range. In fact, this is a great river. It's where I fish a lot this time of year. It's now about mid-October, and they've turned the water off at the dam, making this river very accessible. But knowing these tricks, knowing these little tidbits of information that's taken me 30 years to learn, we're just going to help you come up here and catch fish right away. So today, this is a tailwater river, and I'm going to be basically nymphing the river. And Todd and I will take you up to the top and all the way down the bottom. We'll show you the river from bottom to top. So stand by and watch me see if I can catch some fish today. Even though I'm on a rainy day here, what I'm looking for on the North Fork of the Payette River is I'm looking for these long tailouts here. These long tailouts are where the big trout are. I don't fish in these pocket waters too much, but what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for these long tailouts. And as I'm moving up and down the river in my vehicle, as I'm reading the water, these are the sections of the river that I'm really looking to fly fish. And you should be looking for these sections too. It's going to afford me a couple things. Number one is I don't have that many hopping of the rocks. Like, I'm not wading in the river a lot. The concentration of the trout are right in here. And you'll pay dividends by fishing this section here. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to work this section right here. I'm going to nymph it. Today, this is a tailwater river, so I'm nymphing. I haven't seen a single fish rise. So let's see if I can catch a fish or two out of here before I leave. All right, from time to time, you're gonna get caught in the rocks. And the worst thing that you can possibly do is start jerking on it like this. You don't know how many guys come in the shop with broken rods from jerking it like this. You're gonna lose your fly, you're gonna lose your gear, but let's not lose our rod. So how you wanna do this is you wanna take the rod and point it in the direction that you're caught in the rocks. And unfortunately, on the North Fork Payette River, you're gonna lose lead, you're gonna lose flies. So this is the proper technique. I'm pointing right to it like this, I'm tightening down on my fly line, and I'm pulling the whole thing together up. In my particular case, looks like I lost one of two flies. So stop jerking your fly. You get a fly caught in a tree, don't jerk it, tighten the rod up, and pull that fly out. We're done. A common strategy is when you're fly fishing a river such as this is a tailwater river, is we're looking for a lot of moving, fast, pocket type water. But in this particular river, this river is a little different. From a strategic standpoint, in economy of time, it kind of dictates that we fish this river a certain way. We don't want to be really working this fast water at all. All that's going to do is burn your legs. What we're really looking for is where this water really comes together and then tails out. That tail out is going to offer the fish everything it needs: depth, clarity, food, depth, and that's where the big fish are. In this particular tail out, you're going to see about 40 yards of tail out, and they're going to be fished from the top all the way down. And you want to position yourself so that your effort is put into that tail out and not hopping rocks. So strategy one is make sure that you take your time in reading the water, look for these tail outs. This is a good example of the type of water we don't want to fish on the North Fork Payette. We're right around 350 cubic feet right now, and it's rugged, it's fast moving, and it's enticing because there are fish in there. But the problem that we have in this scenario here is that it's the water's moving so fast and it's so rugged in there that the type and quality of fish in there are going to be a lot smaller, and they're not going to be as numerous. And you spend more energy just hopping rocks and climbing down than you would if you were to find that really classic tail out where you can really work it. In this particular case, I would spend more time. I'd be so beat up by the time I got done fishing this 200-yard stretch of river, and I don't want to burn my legs up like that. There is fish in here, and there are easy ways to get down there. But boy, hopping those boulders and getting into those pockets where the fish are, it's just really not worth the effort.
I can't cover everything on the North Fork Payette River. There's lots to learn for you. It's a great place to go. And if you have any questions about the North Fork of the Payette River, about anything, you can contact me anytime you want. You can get a hold of me via email. You can contact Northwest School of Fly Fishing, Virtual Fly Fishing Academy, our website, nwschoolofflyfishing.com. There's a contact form. You can get rid of me there. You can call me here at the shop, 208-375-0045. There's tons of ways for you to come down here and learn more about the North Fork of the Payette River. If I'm lucky enough this coming season, I'll see you on the North Fork Payette.